Did it.
We survived our first family spring break vacation.
Yep. That was intense.
Did y'all miss us? We were, if you didn't realize, maybe you didn't even realize, but we were not on last week because we were doing the spring break trip.
We were in Colorado. We were with family.
I feel like in the beginning, like the last episode we were on, you were like, "Oh no, we'll make time to record."
We
always are hopeful.
I had a lot of hope that we would, but the trip was a lot.
There was a lot of planning. We had 8 of us packed into my Honda Pilot.
8-passenger car.
Into an 8-passenger car with luggage.
We were like little sardines, but we made it work, and the kids did better than I could have asked for.
Yeah, they really did. It wasn't bad. We drove, so we left early Saturday morning, 2 a.m., and we drove straight through.
Yep.
Without stopping, other than for gas.
I prefer that.
Breaks. Oh yeah,
I prefer that over
snacks.
Stopping.
Everybody had what they needed. We had movies. The kids had their devices.
And the kids slept for the first half of the trip, which was nice
for sure. Necessary. Needed.
Yeah. Yep.
But then we get to Colorado. We check into our Airbnb,
which was amazing, by the way.
After driving 16 hours, we get the kids. They wanted Chick-fil-A. Now, I don't support Chick-fil-A, neither do you.
Not
but
normally.
The kids, they fucking love the Chick-fil-A, and at the end of the day, I'm just like, whatever. Like, if that's what you choose, like, that's what you're gonna eat, I guess. So
we spent an absurd amount of money on Chick-fil-A.
Assholes.
Yeah.
And your son Maddox took 2 bites of a chicken nugget.
Yeah. And it got lodged in his esophagus.
But it wasn't like a choking episode. Like,
no.
I feel like when we talk about, like, oh, he had, in his esophagus, there was a chicken nugget stuck in there. And I feel like people just think maybe he, like, was hoofing food down really fast and, like, choked, and maybe we could have prevented that.
Right. Like the Heimlich type moment. No, it wasn't like that. It was at the very bottom of his esophagus, and it chilled there for 2 days.
But just to back up, because this is like having a child with health issues is new to me. And so all of the moments in the last year with you guys living here that I've witnessed Maddox have like an episode where he's eating and then it's almost like a acid reflux.
Like a gag.
Like reflux. A gag. And he usually just like leaves the room, goes to the bathroom, deals with it, comes back and is okay. So when it went down, we weren't surprised by it. It was very normal.
No, in fact, I was just like, go to the bathroom. Like, so normal about it.
And that's when slowly realized, like, he was not able to swallow anything.
Not even his own saliva.
Yeah.
It was a very hard 2 days. We ended up in 3 different hospitals total. The first 2 days of our trip was spent trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with him.
It was urgent care, the ER.
Urgent care, the first ER. Then the following day, when the first ER's solutions didn't work, it was Children's Hospital and then a transfer to a main campus Children's Hospital. So 4
in
total. 2 in which had no fucking idea. They were like, yeah, I can't tell ya.
Well, and so after driving 16 straight hours and rolling into that, the fear sets in of like Maddox being a cancer survivor, and that's in the back of your mind always, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that happens, that's always in the back of your mind. And then you have Google of you like trying to search through the night, what the hell is wrong with my kid? Because he's literally like lying on the couch, like not well at all. Like you would have thought.
I could just see the life draining from him. His eyes started to look hollow. He was just this like lifeless child, so sad because everybody around him was having
their spring break
fun, and there's family and his brothers, and it was like he couldn't even. I mean, I felt so awful for him, and as a mother,
well, and he was getting dehydrated, and it was scary.
Yeah.
So it was an emotional night, and then
it was 2 emotional nights. The first 2 nights, I cried a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. We were only there for 5 days total, so in my head, it was like cool.
Well, and before we knew what it was, and you weren't really getting answers with the first visit, couple visits, right? You weren't getting answers. It was very like unsettling feeling of like you don't want to think the worst, but how can you not think the worst when there's some like if you cannot swallow or eat like your own saliva and keep anything down and you're constantly having to like there is something seriously wrong.
Well, and I mean, backstory, that's how I found the cancer in Maddox, was a tumor that was not there one day and the next day very much so there and very large. So my mind was going straight to like, what the fuck? Like,
and
what
I
if
knew
this
it
is some kind of growth and we're going to find out he's got cancer again? And
yeah, and like that's what I was watching. Like when I say I knew it, like I knew that's what you were feeling. I knew that's what you know, as a mom, like I fucking get it. As taking care of people with cancer, like I get it. Like it's a scary, it's like your worst nightmare. And so
the day that we got transferred from one children's hospital to the next, Kirby was at home with the slew, at the Airbnb with the slew of children that we had, which was what, 9 kids total, something like that. And I was at the hospital with Maddox alone, and I get this text that's like, Uber's going to be here in 10 minutes and I'll be on my way, which was like this fucking sigh of relief for me, not having to be at the hospital by myself anymore, because I was just like emotionally spent. I was so overwhelmed, and so were you.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I don't typically get emotional in front of the kids, or I can keep it together pretty well and have my little moments of crying. But that was.
But you had a slight breakdown, and then you were like, "Fuck it, I'm going up there." And then we rolled into a CAT scan and then a surgery, and come to find out, after the CAT scan, we found out it was a chicken nugget
and a condition. EOE.
Yep, he has esophagitis, so lifelong condition. He'll have to learn how to maneuver, but at least now we know about it. And from what I've heard, lots of people don't find out that they have it until later in life. So glad that he knows early and can learn how to maintain it, and hopefully never get another chicken nugget or anything else lodged in his esophagus. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
I think that it opened his eyes for the rest of the trip. He was so thankful for the tiniest little thing.
I can drink water again.
Yeah, he was like telling the kids, I can chug, watch.
He's like, watch me drink
this. You realize you take so many things for granted. As simple as swallowing your saliva, you take that for granted. Yep. And when you can't, you realize. And he was just so appreciative of everything. And honestly, like the younger kids, they really just hung out at the Airbnb, where the older kids, they got to go off and like have like a teenager spring break. Like that was cool for them. They were like big dogs, right? And then the younger kids, you know, they just kind of entertained each other at the house. And I feel like Maddox was kind of stuck in between all of that, and he handled it well, and he was appreciative for the little things. But I think there's a part of him that was like, fuck, I wish that wouldn't have that wouldn't have been the start of my spring break. But bro has a story to tell for the rest of his life.
A story that a lot of people will be like, get the fuck out of here. That didn't happen.
Well, everybody that we were texting and giving updates were like, yo, everything's going to be okay. It's a chicken nugget. And they were like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, you had me so worried. And I was like, I get it.
Scary. It was scary. And,
but even with that, we had a really good break.
We had such a good break. And I do feel like those moments brought us closer together as a blended family. I think our boys, Mason and Max, really bonded and became
like
bros, like friends
for the first time, which sounds odd since we've lived here for almost a year at this point. But
they live
because
in
Max doesn't live here 100% of the time, it was like every time we would have family dinners or Max would stay here, there was still that awkward, like, I don't really know how to break through this wall with you feeling between the two of them. And I feel like everybody in the room could sense it, but nobody was just like, fuck it, I'm going to break through, until we kind of in some regards forced it by saying, y'all are stuck in a car for 16 hours together, and then you're stuck on this trip together willingly. I say stuck like as if we forced it, but they willingly went.
But if all of a sudden they decided they didn't like each other or something, that would have been a drag.
But instead it was, they both of them were like, no, I'm so glad that I got to know him better. And now we want to do like spring break reunions where we're inviting, our kids plus the rest of the people that were with us. And
yeah, so Mason brought a friend and Max brought his girlfriend, and
they all kind of know each other from school already. So
it was just a really solid group. It was
I'll be honest, there were moments for me where I watched them and I thought to myself, that is, when I look back at my life, that age was one of the best time periods in my life.
Yeah.
Like when you're old enough to know how to have adult fun, but young enough to not have adult responsibility.
Like when Mason was like, you guys didn't stay up for the teen talk in the hot tub. Like, so every night they went in the hot tub, we had different like shifts of when people could go in the hot tub. And
it was like little guys, then us, we'd crash the fuck out. And then the teenagers would stay up.
Sneak out there and stay out there all night. And I guess they had some really good hot tub conversations. And like, I just love that for them. I think it's always been my hope I come from a large family, right? I have 4 brothers, and like, I just love that the kids can all accept each other for who they are, but they're all kind of changing and going through their different phases, and they're like very accepting of each person, and during their glow ups or encouraging I don't know, it's just all coming together really well. And it's, as a parent, it's good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. There's been a couple moments since we got back where I'm just like, fucking pat myself on the back because we fucking did it. And it feels really good.
Grateful and appreciative.
So grateful.
We thought, before this trip, we thought, okay, we're either going to have a really good family trip and we're going to want to do this every year, or this will be the one and done and we will not spend this amount of money if it goes in a sour direction. Just feeling like, taken advantage of, or just nothing's good enough, because that has happened.
Kids can be like
on
that
trips before, and like, kids are kids, and like they need those life experiences to really understand. And I really feel like with our dynamic of our blended family, we've all been through a lot together, and we all are kind of like a band of brothers, and we like lean on each other in certain ways. And like I said, I think my son Max got to witness a side of comforting that I received from Mason while I was upset, and just like kind of see how like our family works together and how we lean on each other and how we're there for each other. And
and I think a lot of outside people, my family specifically, got to see how we work as well.
Talk about that.
That felt
good.
We had
a birthday party.
Yep, my little guy turned 5. And so we had a birthday party, and more people showed up than I thought. Lots of people didn't RSVP, but it turned out to be everyone almost that we invited showed up. And it felt really good to be the host in our own safe space with each other.
That was pre-planned, by the way. I think we both wanted to get to a point where we could be in our world, our relationship, and not be inching into somebody else's home and trying to see how comfortable we can feel in their environment. And so part of our boundaries and our safety list was we want family to get to know us. We want to be accepted by family as a couple. And if we're going to get it, we have to do it in a safe space on our own terms. And so that rolled into the birthday party.
I think it's like, when you think about it in a comparison of like walking into a room full of people versus people walking into a room that you've already occupied, right? You've already established, like, this is your fucking ground, and like you're in my territory now, and it's a different feeling and a different confidence. And I had some really good conversation with my 2 brothers specifically after the party, and I think more and more as time goes on and you and I continue our relationship, whether it's from a distance or right in front of someone's face, my family specifically is starting to open their eyes to just exactly like who we are together.
I think they're getting past the gender, like
Ember's gay.
Ember, or like
that part is kind of like
like
old news.
Yeah, because I always felt like, well, if I was just a man, I would be like, the knight in shining armor, you know, sweeping you off your feet. And they couldn't see that in the beginning, but now they're seeing like how well
I think they're starting to see it for the first time. Yeah. And that's everyone. I've had good conversation with officially now all of my siblings and my mom when it comes to us and where we're at. And I've had really good feedback from them. And
I think that maybe they thought it was a phase, and so they didn't want to get too invested in any side of it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Very well could be. Regardless of what they think, I'm really proud of where they're at now, because I know that they still don't agree with all of the decisions that I have made, but they have done a good job putting that aside and saying, like, I just want to understand you and be close to you for who you are now. And I didn't know for sure if that would ever happen. So it was good.
And to have like somebody say like they just want you happy, like whatever that happiness looks like, they're happy with that.
Well,
and like
not
that's
only,
a really good feeling.
Yeah, and not only telling me that, but also like thanking you personally for making
like,
me so
I
happy.
I kind of laughed because I was like, no, are you kidding me? Like, of course. Like,
my brother, who I've always kind of been closest with out of all of my siblings off and on, we had that good conversation after the party, and then I didn't know it, but apparently he approached Kirby and thanked them for taking care of me and loving me and
making you happy
and making me happy. Yeah.
It was good. I hope for more opportunities to it's nice to be able to share our love openly and not feel so like
shunned.
Yeah, like the outcast, right?
Black sheep.
Or like, you know, the way I felt when the last visit before this trip, when you went without me. And, you know, that was not just you going without me. That was just the way it worked out. But at the same time, it was just like,
this won't happen again.
This won't happen again, because I don't want people to just get to know you on your own. Like, I want people to know us together.
We are a package deal.
We are.
Yeah. So now that we're back, moving into next week, you have an important, exciting appointment coming up.
I do, on Wednesday.
I will also be there for, because package deal.
On Wednesday, I almost forgot. So yeah, it's my consultation for my top surgery.
You're excited. You forgot like momentarily, but bigger picture, you're so excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I had somebody reach out to me recently, DM'd me on IG, and they're inquiring about trying to get a consultation for top surgery, and they had no idea about having to have 2 letters. And so there's, you know, I want to record and document my journey, and there's just so many details. And like I said, I wouldn't know these details if I wasn't told by somebody else or saw a video on TikTok about somebody sharing their journey. So that's why it is so important for me to share my journey. But yeah, I received my 2 letters.
And by letters, basically, like, maybe elaborate on that.
So like the letters are basically from your therapist and psychiatrist or family doctor, whichever you're more comfortable with. But I was referred to a psychiatrist through my therapist, and all of this is through the Milwaukee LGBT Center. So it's something I've been, you know, bringing in discussion during my my visits with my therapist. And then she was really the one that helped me you know, understand like the 2-letter thing. It wasn't really like it's talked about, but I guess you don't understand how important it is for insurance to cover it. For insurance, if you do not want to be on HRT, testosterone, if you know, there's certain things you need worked into these letters to protect your rights and to basically advocate to say that you are in the right mental space and you have the right support and all of the things to be able to go through with the surgery.
Which is so funny, because you don't need any letter to go get breast implants or
I mean, I don't know,
tummy tuck, do, but, or no, you don't. I've known people personally who had it done. You don't. It's just interesting to me. But yeah, you got both of your letters. You were happy with both of your letters.
Yeah.
And now Wednesday we'll go in and we'll meet
The surgeon.
Potential surgeon. We're not, we're not, this is the first one that you'll meet.
I don't know how much I can afford to like go around and, interview, several surgeons. It is important to me. And I did, I was referred the top 3 surgeons in Wisconsin. And so I'm going to one of the top 3. And I was able to find on my own research, just through like Reddit, I was able to find some other reviews from patients that have had top surgery by the surgeon. So that was helpful to see that.
So it's in Milwaukee. We'll make the drive out to Milwaukee, and I'm excited.
I think like lately what I've been doing that's helping is I have like a collection folder on TikTok. Anybody who shares things that I find helpful, insightful, things that I want to remember to ask the surgeon. These videos, I've been saving those, and then I'll kind of go through and have my notes in front of me to like ask the right questions as far as the types of surgery, the constructing of the surgery. And yeah, I think in the beginning we were like, yeah, let's get through summer and like maybe it's scheduled after summer. But if they have an opening sooner, I think I'm ready. Like, I think it's kind of like when you decide you want to cut your hair, or you decide you want to have a baby, or you decide you want to land a new job, or whatever it is. When you make that decision in your mind, then you get to the place where you're like, I'm ready for it. But a video that we just watched in the last hour where the person was talking about really working out and getting the muscle tone and the strength in your chest prior to surgery. And that's, I wouldn't say I'm going like hard on that right now, but I have to start somewhere. So I have started with working out more and trying to get my...
We took a break over our spring break vacation, but we've been consistently working out.
Yeah, consistently working out, because I do want my, I want to see my body a certain way. And I think there's a little underlining fear of how long that'll take me to get, or what I'll look like in between. Or, it's just like when you're growing your hair back out and you're like in that in between stage and you're like, oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now. There's a feeling of that. I did have a moment in the shower today. Like, that's my like therapeutic, like I can just go into like a deep thought and like dig down in my soul of like different things that I'm feeling or thinking. And I do have a thought to where I want all of the kids together, maybe not the young ones, but like our boys in the same room, and I want to document it, not focused on them, but just to hear the conversation. And I want to document the conversation, and I want to openly tell them that I'm going to be getting the surgery. And like, I don't know, it sounded amazing in my head, right? Like what I would say. I was like having a TED talk in the shower, and
this is news to me.
I was having this conversation of like how I would describe gender dysphoria, because I think my biggest fear with I don't give a fuck about what other outside people think, but I'm going to be walking around the house for a week or two with probably drain tubes and not feeling so great. And our kids are very in tune to if we are PMSing. They want to know what we're feeling.
My boys
right?
have always been very emotionally intelligent.
And so I want to be able to not just show up one day and be like, oh, by the way, these are fucking drain bags and I got my chest cut off. I don't want to have that
you
conversation.
You can't hit them sideways that hard.
So I want to have an opportunity to talk to them and express gender dysphoria. And I have some ways that I want to go about it when I explain it to them, and why it's important for me to have this surgery. And I really felt like there was a prime opportunity this morning with Mason, but I thought, nope, I only want to do this once. I want to sit everybody down, and just like I did when I told the boys that I was gay, and I want to just have a safe space to talk through it and help them understand it and give them the opportunity to process it before it happens.
Ask questions.
And ask questions, anything, right? And then from there, you know, after the surgery, it's not this big shock. And I think there's parts of me that are like afraid that I'm going to feel like I have to hide myself for a while from the kids because I don't want them to feel embarrassed or feel a certain type of way towards me or something. So I guess I just want, like, that's where my head is right now with this journey of like, how can I get the courage to sit the kids down and tell them that I'm making this decision for myself, and that I like, I don't know. I know sometimes even the boys were like, when I had long hair, and they're like, don't cut your hair short. I like it longer. And it's like, that's great. But I don't.
Well, and I think our kids, but I guess mostly mine, have come to understand you a lot more in the last 6 months than ever before. Even when it just comes to like, you know, emotional swings here and there, or like just the small, from everything from like the small things to the big things about you, they're starting to really get to know who you are. And so I think it's good. I think it'll be a good conversation. I think it'll be good to have everybody aware of the situation so that it isn't a big shock factor. And then moving forward, you know, when we are all at the beach and you don't have a shirt on, they're not like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They know that it's coming and have time to prepare for it. And I think our kids are really proud of us as their parents. And I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I just want, I know when stuff is, especially like living in a small town in Wisconsin, when I think there's just so much focus right now on trans people, non-binary people, people that are different in just the way the world is right now. And I just feel like I don't want them to feel like, so like, what the fuck? You know, what's next kind of feeling. I don't know. So yeah, it's important for me to have this conversation, but I don't want to have the conversation until after my consultation, because I might get hit with questions from our kids that like I don't even know yet. I don't even, so like I need to get through the consultation of finding out my own piece of it, and then wrap my head around the date, and know like what we're preparing for, and then from there have the open conversation with the kids and like let them know.
Yeah.
But like also I want to record it because I do think it's important to document these moments in my journey, because where you might be on the side where you're younger and maybe you don't have children, or you're just not going to have children, but for whatever reason, I want to also recognize people that are moms, that I'm going to be 45 this year. Like that's, I don't know, like to be 45 and still a mother and still parenting and all of the things, and comfortable to say that I'm a non-binary lesbian, and I'm comfortable to be a mother, and I'm comfortable with womanhood and to a certain extent, but there are things that make me uncomfortable, and to openly be able to articulate that and have conversations and bring visibility to it, representation, I think it's necessary for somebody out there that might be listening that's like, hey, I'm in the same boat right now, and what do I do?
Well, and I think that it doesn't even take being in the exact same boat. I think that you possess a lot of different I don't want to use the word qualities, but you're going through a lot of different things that even just one person that might have one of those things in common with you, like that could be enough in and of itself. So
yeah, so that's this Wednesday. So that'll be I'll be excited to give an update when we record again later in the week.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna be there for emotional support, obviously, but also judging. It has to pass the Ember test.
Okay.
The vibe has to pass the Ember test.
Well, and there might be things that I need you to like take notes on, or you know, it's hard when you go to doctor's appointments and you're taking in all this information and you're like, oh my God, I forgot to ask this, or I didn't think of that. So I'm super thankful that you can be there with me and through it.
I'm very protective, so there's a piece of me that's just, I don't know, feeling very protective over the whole thing, but yeah, it'll be good.
Anywho, that's our update, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. We yesterday we took a day and did completely nothing after driving for 2 straight days.
We literally stayed in bed all day. We only got up long enough to
make a few meals,
take a bath, and eat food.
We did a spa day.
We did a spa day.
That was pretty amazing.
It was very amazing.
And
I filed my taxes.
I'm so proud of you because like
it was like on the whim.
I'm over here dealing with tax shit back and forth, and
I was like, well, fuck it, let's see what mine look like.
And
Ember get on the computer an hour later.
H&R Block for free in files and is like done in 30 minutes. And I was like, I'm gonna get there. My life's a little complicated, but I'm gonna get there because holy shit, like please make it make sense.
So I did take a day off and I did stay in bed all day, but
you were productive.
Still productive.
We are always still productive, even when we're lying in bed. Like we have ideas or moments where it's like you're looking at me some type of way. We are productive is what I'm trying to say. I have laundry to change right now. Like I gotta switch the laundry. Like when I leave here, that's what I roll into. Like we stay productive.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, that's life. Here we are.
Yeah.
Last day off. Back to work and school tomorrow. Back on the grind.
To life. Back to reality.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. We gotta pay bills. Fucking A. Adulting is not always the funnest, but we want to go to Miami. I think we're gonna go to Miami.
We are going. It's not a want. It's a I'm gonna make sure it happens.
We're going for a weekend.
I'm going. Well,
so I'm going too.
Okay. There you guys have it. If I'm going, Kirby's going. So we're going to Miami.
Hit us up if you're in the area because we're going only for like Friday through Sunday.
Yeah, well, short amount of time.
It's just a quick little getaway.
I think a vacation from our vacation was something that we talked about multiple times, and while the trip was very good, there was still a lot of kid focus.
Y'all, it's been a year.
Per usual.
It's been a year since we had our last trip together. Now,
which I'm sure some people are like, that's nothing.
But if you remember, when we were doing long distance, every single visit was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Was a flight.
Just
somewhere.
The two of us.
Just
the trip with just the two of us.
There wasn't all of the extra.
So
which was necessary.
We're fiending for it.
To get to know each other and grow our relationship to where it is today, so we can give our all and attention and focus to the kids, and all of the things that go with being parents, being the world's greatest moms here.
We just need to fill our cup a little.
We need it. We need to. Yeah. We need to get away.
So we found cute little Airbnb out by South Beach. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure of it.
We got to book it.
We're going to book it. Book it the fuck out of here.
I'm about to book it. All right. Well, I hope you all have a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
catch you on the flip side.
Stay classy.